My mother always said I'd die alone. Turns out she was wrong about the dying part. I'm still breathing. But the alone part? She nailed that one. I'm watching Conrad's moving truck pull away from what used to be our Victorian duplex in Noe Valley. And I'm standing here in yesterday's clothes because I couldn't bring myself to change. The movers wouldn't look me in the eye. Even strangers can tell what I am. The reason he's leaving. 8 months ago, I had everything. A man who brought me lavender tea every morning without being asked. A vintage engagement ring that caught the light just right. Plans for a December wedding at that little vineyard in Napa where we got drunk on our 3rd date and promised each other forever. Now I have a studio apartment in the Tenderloin that smells like my neighbor's cats, and a therapist who charges $200 to listen to me tell her what I already know, that I'm my own worst enemy. But I should start at the beginning, or rather, the end of the beginning. It was a Tuesday night in March. I remember because Conrad had his architecture firm's basketball league that night, and he always came home sweaty and happy, talking about three-pointers and defensive plays like I understood any of it. I loved that about him, how he could get excited about the smallest things. That night, I'd decided to surprise him. I left my marketing job early, picked up steaks from that butcher shop on Valencia he loved, and even stopped at the wine store for a bottle of that Malbec we'd discovered on our anniversary trip to Mendocino. The house was dark when I got home. Conrad wouldn't be back for another hour, which gave me time to set everything up. I was arranging the candles on our dining table when I saw it. A makeup compact, just sitting there on the entryway table next to Conrad's keys. Rose gold with little pearls around the edge. Expensive. Definitely not mine. I'm a drugstore makeup kind of girl, always have been. My hands started shaking before my brain even caught up to what I was seeing. I picked it up, opened it. The mirror inside reflected my face back at me, and I looked crazy already. Eyes too wide, mouth hanging open like I'd been punched. The powder inside was barely used, just a few swipe marks across the surface, shade, ivory glow. I'm more of an olive beige. My first thought was his sister, Mallory. She'd been having problems with her roommate, been crashing at our place on and off for the past month. Conrad had given her a key. I'd seen her stuff scattered around before. A hair tie here, a phone charger there. But Mallory was in Tahoe for a work retreat. She'd posted about it on Instagram that morning. Sunrise yoga and team-building exercises. She wasn't in San Francisco. She couldn't have left this. Then I remembered Janine from his office. She'd been to our place for the holiday party in December. Blonde, legs for days, laughed too hard at Conrad's jokes. She'd touched his arm when she talked to him. I'd noticed. I always noticed things like that. But why would her makeup be here in March? My mind started spinning scenarios, secret lunches, fake late meetings, all those architecture conferences he went to. Was he really discussing sustainable building materials? Or was he in some hotel room with someone who looked good in ivory glow? I called him, straight to voicemail. Of course, basketball league, no phones on the court, that's what he always said. But was there really a basketball league? Had I ever seen actual evidence? Sure, he came home sweaty, but you could work up a sweat doing lots of things, dirty things. The steaks sat on the counter, bleeding through their paper wrapping. I opened the wine. Didn't bother with a glass. By the time Conrad's key turned in the lock 45 minutes later, I'd made it through half the bottle and constructed an entire affair in my head. A detailed, ugly affair. 6 months, minimum. Maybe longer. All those times he'd worked late. All those client dinners. Lies. All lies. "Hey, babe," he called out, dropping his gym bag by the door. "Something smells amazing. Did you cook?" I stood in the doorway to the kitchen, compact in my hand like evidence at a trial. "Whose is this?" He squinted at me, confused, still in his basketball shorts, Under Armour shirt dark with sweat. "Whose is what?" "Don't." My voice came out sharp enough to cut glass. "Don't you dare stand there and pretend you don't know what I'm talking about." Bethany, I genuinely have no idea. This! I shoved the compact at him. This was on the entry table. Rose gold, pearls, ivory fucking glow, Conrad. I know it's not mine. Mallory's in Tahoe. So whose is it? He took the compact, turned it over in his hands like it might suddenly make sense. I don't know, maybe it's... Maybe it's what? Maybe it fell from the sky? Maybe the makeup fairy left it? Just tell me the truth for once in your life. For once in my life? His face changed then. The confusion replaced by something harder. When have I ever lied to you? Apparently every day since you started screwing whoever owns this. Jesus Christ, Bethany, I'm not screwing anyone. I don't know whose makeup that is, but I can guarantee you it's not from some affair because I'm not having one. Then explain it. I can't explain something I don't understand. He was getting angry now. Good. I wanted him angry. Angry meant guilty. Maybe someone dropped it. Maybe the cleaning lady left it. Maybe. We don't have a cleaning lady. Then I don't know. Why are you screaming at me? Because you're a liar. The words exploded out of me. 8 months later, I can still hear how they sounded. Unhinged. Venomous. Nothing like the woman who'd loved this man for 4 years. You're a lying, cheating piece of shit, and I'm done pretending I don't know. He stood there, still holding the compact, staring at me like I'd grown a second head. Bethany, you need to calm down. Let's talk about this rationally. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't you dare stand there in your fake basketball clothes and tell me to calm down. Fake basketball clothes? What the hell does that even mean? It means I know there's no basketball league. It means I know you've been lying about where you go every Tuesday night. You think I'm making up an entire basketball league? He laughed, but it wasn't a funny laugh. It was the laugh of a man realizing the woman he loved might be completely insane. You want to see the league schedule, the team roster? Jesus, Bethany, half my office is on the team. You've met them. But I was beyond reasoning. The wine, the paranoia, and the image of him with someone else had created a perfect storm in my brain. I don't believe you. I don't believe anything you say anymore. Anymore? What else have I supposedly lied about? Everything. The conferences, the late nights, the client dinners. How do I know any of it was real? Because you trust me. Because we're getting married. Because I've never given you a single reason to doubt me. This is a reason! I threw the compact at him. It hit the wall behind his head, exploded in a cloud of ivory powder. That's a pretty fucking big reason. He looked at the powder scattered across our hardwood floors, then back at me. Something shifted in his face. The anger drained away, replaced by something worse. Disappointment. You know what? I'm done having this conversation. I'm going to take a shower, and when I come out, maybe you'll be ready to talk like an adult. Don't walk away from me! I followed him down the hall. We're not done here. Yes, we are. He turned at the bathroom door. I'm not going to stand here and defend myself against something I didn't do while you scream at me like a crazy person. I'm not crazy. You're drunk and you're acting crazy. There's a difference, but right now, I don't really care about the distinction. He closed the bathroom door, locked it. I heard the shower turn on. I pounded on the door. Conrad, open this door. We need to talk about this. Nothing. I know you can hear me. Stop being a coward and face me. Still nothing. I slid down the door, sat on the floor. The wine was hitting me hard now, making everything fuzzy around the edges. But the anger was still there. A hot, solid thing burning through the alcohol like acid. How dare he dismiss me? How dare he act like I was the problem when he was the one with mysterious makeup appearing in our house? The shower shut off. I scrambled to my feet, ready for round 2. But when the door opened, Conrad had his gym bag in his hand. He'd changed into jeans and a hoodie. Where are you going? My brother's. You can't just leave. Watch me. He stepped around me, headed for the bedroom. I followed, watched him throw clothes into a duffel bag. So you're just going to run away? Not even try to explain? Explain what, Bethany? I don't know whose makeup that is. I've told you that. You don't believe me. What else is there to say? You could fight for us. You could try to convince me. He zipped the bag, turned to face me. I shouldn't have to convince you I'm not cheating when I've never given you a reason to think I am. The fact that you immediately jumped to that conclusion, that tells me everything I need to know about what you think of me. Don't turn this around on me. I'm not turning anything around. I'm leaving before one of us says something we can't take back. I already said it. You're a cheater and a liar, and I hate you. He paused at the bedroom door, looked back at me with those green eyes I fell in love with at a mutual friend's barbecue 4 years ago. Yeah, you did. And then he was gone. I heard his car start in the driveway, heard it pull away. And then the house was silent, except for my ragged breathing and the sound of my heart breaking. Or maybe that was just the wine bottle I threw at the wall. I woke up the next morning on the couch, still in my work clothes, surrounded by the debris of my rage. The broken wine bottle, the scattered powder from the compact, the steaks, still sitting on the counter, now brown and spoiled. My phone showed 3 missed calls from my best friend Heather and a text from Conrad. Staying at Dylan's for a few days. We should talk when you're sober, but I wasn't ready to talk. I was still angry, still convinced I was right. I spent the day building my case. Went through his emails, I knew his password. Checked his credit card statements, scrolled through every text message I could find. Nothing. No evidence of an affair, no suspicious charges, no flirty messages. But that just meant he was good at hiding it, right? I called in sick to work, spent the day drinking coffee and constructing timelines. When had he really been where he said he was? How could I verify his stories? I was 3 cups deep when Heather showed up. Jesus, Beth, you look like hell. Thanks. That's super helpful. She pushed past me into the house, took in the destruction. What happened here? Conrad's cheating on me. What? No way. Conrad would never. I found makeup, some woman's makeup, in our house. Heather picked up the broken compact from the floor, examined it. And he said he didn't know whose it was. Classic cheater response. Or maybe he really didn't know. Whose side are you on? Yours, always yours. But Beth, this is Conrad we're talking about. The man who drove 3 hours to bring you soup when you had the flu last year, who still has the movie ticket from your first date in his wallet. He's not a cheater. You don't know that. Neither do you. Not from one random makeup compact. But I didn't want to hear reason. I wanted validation. I wanted someone to tell me I was right to blow up my life over a piece of makeup that probably cost $30. Conrad texted again that afternoon. Can we please talk? I love you. I didn't respond. He tried again the next day. Bethany, this is insane. I'm not cheating. I've never cheated. Please let me come home so we can figure this out. Still nothing from me. On the 3rd day, he showed up, used his key, found me in the same clothes I'd been wearing since the fight, surrounded by empty wine bottles and takeout containers. We need to talk. So, talk. He sat across from me at the kitchen table. Our kitchen table. The one we'd bought at that estate sale in Pacifica. Carried up 3 flights of stairs while laughing about how we'd never make it. I've been thinking about that compact, trying to figure out where it came from. Did you ask your girlfriend? He ignored the jab. I called Mallory, asked if any of her friends had been by the house recently. My stomach clenched. I'd forgotten about that. Mallory sometimes had friends crash when they visited the city. Her friend Sophia stayed over 2 weeks ago, the night we went to that fundraiser for your work, remember? Mallory asked if it was okay, and you said yes. I did remember, vaguely. Some friend from college passing through town. I'd told Mallory it was fine, her house too. She didn't need to ask permission. Sophia has a rose gold compact, with pearls. Mallory sent me a picture. He held out his phone. There it was. The same compact sitting on some girl's bathroom counter. The girl I'd never met. the girl whose makeup had just ended my relationship. "That doesn't prove anything," I said, but my voice sounded weak, even to my own ears, like a child caught lying. "No? What would prove it, Bethany? Do you want me to take a polygraph? Hire a private investigator to follow me around? What would it take for you to believe I'm not cheating?" "I don't know." "That's the problem. You don't know because nothing would be enough. You've decided I'm guilty, and no amount of evidence is going to change your mind." He was right. I knew he was right. But admitting that meant admitting I'd destroyed everything over nothing, and I wasn't ready for that kind of reckoning. "I need you to leave," I said instead. "Bethany Dash, please, just go." He stood up, looked around the kitchen like he was memorizing it. "I'll stay at Dylan's for a while longer, give you some space to think, but we need to deal with this. We're supposed to get married in 9 months. "I know." "Do you? Because you're acting like you want to throw it all away." I didn't answer. Couldn't answer. He left again, and this time I knew he might not come back. A week passed. Then 2. I went back to work, pretended everything was fine. Told people Conrad was traveling for business when they asked why he wasn't at the company happy hour. Kept the engagement ring on, because taking it off would mean admitting what I'd done. Mallory called on a Saturday morning. "What the hell did you do to my brother?" "He told you?" "He's been sleeping on Dylan's couch for 2 weeks. Yeah, he told me. Over makeup? My friend's makeup? Are you insane?" "It's more complicated than that." "No, it's really not. You accused him of cheating with 0 evidence and then refused to believe him when he told you the truth. That's pretty simple." "You don't understand." "What I understand is that my brother loves you more than anything in the world, and you're throwing it away because you're too proud to admit you were wrong." She hung up on me. First time in 4 years of knowing Mallory that she'd been genuinely angry with me. It should have been a wake-up call. Should have made me realize how badly I'd screwed up. Instead, it just made me defensive. They were siblings. Of course she'd take his side. 3 weeks after the fight, Conrad asked to meet for coffee. I suggested our usual place, but he said no. Too many memories. We met at a Starbucks downtown, instead neutral ground. He looked tired, thinner. The beard he'd been growing was gone, and there were dark circles under his eyes. "How are you?" "Fine." "You look good." "Thanks." We sipped our drinks in silence. Mine was wrong. He'd ordered my usual, but they'd made it with almond milk instead of oat. I didn't say anything. Seemed petty to complain about coffee when we were discussing the end of our relationship. "I've been thinking," he finally said, "about us, about what happened." And I don't think I can do this anymore." The words hit like physical blows. "What do you mean?" "I mean I can't be with someone who doesn't trust me, who's willing to throw away 4 years over a makeup compact." "It wasn't just about the makeup." "Wasn't it? Because from where I'm sitting, that's exactly what it was about. You found something you couldn't immediately explain, and instead of talking to me about it like a rational person, you decided I was cheating and nothing I said could convince you otherwise." I was upset. "You were cruel. You said things you can't take back, called me names, accused me of making up an entire basketball league. Do you have any idea how insane that sounds?" I did. In the cold light of a Starbucks afternoon, I could see how insane it all sounded. But admitting that meant admitting I'd ruined everything, and I still wasn't ready. "So, what are you saying?" "I'm saying I think we should postpone the wedding. Take some time apart. Figure out if this is really what we both want." "You're breaking up with me?" "I'm suggesting we take a break. I still love you, Bethany, but love isn't enough if there's no trust, and you broke it." He was right. I knew he was right. But knowing something and accepting it are 2 different things. "Fine, if that's what you want." "It's not what I want. What I want is to go back to 3 weeks ago when we were happy and planning our wedding and you didn't think I was a liar and a cheater. But we can't go back, can we?" "I guess not." He stood up, left his coffee half finished on the table. "I'll come by tomorrow to get some of my stuff. It would be easier if you weren't there." "Conrad Dash, please, Bethany, Just give me that." So I did. Spent the next day at Heather's crying into wine I shouldn't have been drinking while Conrad removed himself from our house one box at a time. When I got home, the place felt wrong. Too empty. Too quiet. His gaming console was gone from the living room, his architecture books from the office, his favorite mug from the kitchen cabinet, all the little pieces that made it our home instead of just mine. But he'd left things too. The engagement ring I'd thrown at him during one of our fights, sitting on my dresser. The photo from our trip to Hawaii, still in its frame on the bookshelf, the save-the-date cards for our wedding, stacked in a neat pile on the kitchen counter like a question I couldn't answer. I thought he'd call. Thought he'd text. Thought this was just a break, like he'd said, and eventually we'd find our way back to each other. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The wedding date is next month. December 15th. I just got the save the date reminder on my phone last week. I'll spend it drunk in my apartment, wearing my pajamas instead of the dress I'd bought on sale at Nordstrom, watching our friends post pictures from holiday parties we should have been attending as a married couple. I heard about his life through other people. He'd gotten promoted at the architecture firm, moved into a new apartment in the Mission, started dating someone, a teacher named Paige who looked nothing like me and probably wore sensible makeup in shades that matched her skin tone. "She's nice," Heather told me reluctantly when I pressed for details. "Different from you. Quieter, less..." "Less what?" "Less intense. Less crazy," she meant. Less likely to accuse him of elaborate cheating schemes over misplaced makeup. I threw myself into therapy, twice a week at first, then once. Dr. Martinez had kind eyes and an endless supply of tissues. She helped me understand what I couldn't see in the moment, that my reaction wasn't really about the makeup, it was about fear. About feeling like I didn't deserve someone as good as Conrad. About my parents' marriage imploding when my father's actual affair came to light. About every relationship I'd watched crumble around me until I was so sure mine would too, that I made it happen myself. "It's a self-fulfilling prophecy," she explained during one session. "You were so afraid of being betrayed that you created a situation where betrayal was the only thing you could see, even when it wasn't there." "So I ruined my life over my own insecurity?" "You made a mistake. That doesn't mean your life is ruined." But it felt ruined. Sitting in that expensive therapist's office, talking about trust issues and fear of abandonment while Conrad was out there living his life without me, building things with his hands, and coming home to someone who didn't accuse him of elaborate deceptions. 6 months after our fight, I ran into Mallory at Whole Foods. We stood in the cereal aisle, both reaching for the same box of granola, and the awkwardness was suffocating. "How's Conrad?" I asked because I couldn't help myself. "He's good. Happy." The word stung more than any insult could have. "That's good. I'm glad." "Are you?" "I want him to be happy. I always wanted that." Funny way of showing it. Mallory Dash. "No, you know what? I'm still angry. You hurt my brother. You broke his heart over nothing. And now you want to stand here in Whole Foods and act like we're going to have some kind of moment? We're not." She took the granola and left me standing there, holding my empty basket and my regrets. I wrote Conrad a letter after that. Spent 3 days crafting it, choosing every word carefully. I apologized, took responsibility, acknowledged that I'd been wrong, that I'd let my fears and insecurities destroy the best thing in my life. I told him about therapy, about the work I was doing to understand why I'd reacted the way I had. I told him I still loved him, would always love him, but that I understood if he couldn't forgive me. I never sent it. What would be the point? He'd moved on. He was happy. Sending the letter would just be another selfish act, trying to ease my guilt at his expense. Instead, I kept living, going to work, going to therapy, learning to be alone without falling apart. I dated a little. A guy from my gym, a friend of a friend, a lawyer I met at a conference. None of them stuck. How could they? They weren't Conrad. They didn't know to bring me lavender tea without being asked. They didn't get excited about basketball games or sustainable building materials. They weren't the man I was supposed to marry until I decided a $30 compact was more important than 4 years of love. Now it's been 8 months, and here I am. Watching his moving truck disappear around the corner, taking the last of his things from the house we bought together. He's getting married next month. Paige, the quiet teacher who trusts him, who probably wouldn't lose her mind over mysterious makeup because she knows the man she's with really knows him the way I should have. The movers left one thing behind, a box labeled Kitchen Misk. I open it, even though I know I shouldn't. Inside, wrapped in newspaper, is his favorite mug, the one I bought him for his birthday 3 years ago. Blue ceramic with a chip on the handle from when he dropped it washing dishes. He loved that stupid mug, insisted coffee tasted better in it. He left it on purpose. I know he did. Conrad doesn't forget things. He's leaving me with this one small piece of us, a final, quiet punishment, a reminder of Sunday mornings, and shared coffee, and the life we built before I burned it all down. I should throw it away. Should smash it against the wall like I smashed that wine bottle. Should eliminate this last connection to the man I'll never have back. Instead, I wash it carefully, place it in the cabinet next to my own lonely mug, and I promise myself that tomorrow I'll use it. I'll drink my coffee from Conrad's forgotten mug and remember what it felt like to be loved by someone who deserved better than I gave him. Someone who told the truth, even when I couldn't hear it. Someone who tried to stay until I made it impossible. My mother was wrong. I won't die alone. I'll die surrounded by reminders of the life I threw away. The ring I gave back. The photos I can't bear to remove. The mug that holds more than coffee now. It holds the entire heavy weight of my biggest regret. And somewhere across the city, Conrad is building a new life with someone who knows that rose gold compacts with pearls don't mean betrayal. They just mean someone forgot their makeup. Someone who wasn't even important enough to remember. Unlike me, who threw away something unforgettable over absolutely nothing at all. The house is dead quiet now. Just me and my regrets and a mug that will always taste like I'm sorry. But sorry doesn't bring anyone back. It just echoes in empty rooms where love used to live. A reminder that sometimes the only person who can break your heart is you. And I did. God help me, I really did.